Hey everyone, we're here today to do a mod on the Revenge from Mars. As you can see, I took the glass out and took the playfield out. And what we're going to do is take the button, which is down here, this launch button, and put it in the coin door, which is right here, where like the money taker would be. That's like that piece comes out, that metal piece. So what we're going to have to do is take that out, put on my drill press, drill a 1-inch hole out so that button will fit in there. And what we're going to do this for is for if you have a Star Wars and a Revenge from Mars playfields, that you don't have to have the button, like take the button out every time you want to put the shooter rod in. So what we're going to be able to do is leave the shooter rod in here and put the button in over here. So you know, when you pull the playfields out, you don't have to remove either one. It's just, you know, pretty much put the playfield in and you're ready to go. And the button and shooter rod are already in the cabinet. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to mess up the cabinet and drill a bigger hole for the shooter rod or anything like that, or, you know, to make them both work at the same time. So this is the non-intrusive, I think, way to go, because you could always buy a new metal, you know, thing here if you don't have the money taker, the dollar bill acceptor, I should say. So you could always buy another metal plate if you had to. So this is the non-intrusive. I'll just run a wire from here, a longer wire, to this way over here, so the wire will reach and kind of clean it up and tuck it under so nothing gets snagged. So it should work out all right. And I got this idea. I'm going to give credit where it's due. This guy on Pinside, I think his name is Jean Picard or Jean-Luc Picard or something like that. He gave me the idea because he posted this on Pinside, and I kind of wrote to him and just asked him about kind of what he did. And there was another person on that post too as well. I kind of forgot his name, but he actually gave the idea of using this auto launcher here to do it. So what you could do is if on this side a shooter rod could fit in between here. So you could have both assemblies on at the same time. But you kind of have to modify your playfield a bit in order for this to work. But this, I think, was used on Scared Stiff. There's a couple other games that this was used on, this mechanism. Maybe Safe Cracker, maybe a couple other ones as well. That this, I'll post on my blog, or on the post once I'm done with this, the different parts you need for this and the part number. I got this from Pinball Life. So that's where I ordered this part from. But those two guys gave me the idea to do this. So I want to thank them because it was a great idea. And hopefully everything goes well. So I'm just going to show the process. I never did this before, but I'm going to show the process and how I'm going to do it. And we're going to start there. And first we'll start putting this mechanism on, the auto plunger. And then we'll get to the button after that. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to kind of be going, you know, taking a couple things off and then stopping, and then kind of me figuring out what goes where, what needs to be taken off or changed. But what needs to be taken off is this metal bar here, because basically what happens is that the shooter that goes here, the auto shooter, that has to kind of go in place of this. So this one has to come out, and the new auto plunger has to go in. But the problem is that when you put the new one in, it kind of goes down here, you know, when it fits. So there's a post that actually comes out of here. Let me zoom into that part there. And basically this comes out like that. I already took it out, but this rail has to come off, and there's like 6 nuts that need to unscrew. So if you unscrew all these nuts like that, I already took them off, but this comes off, this rail. And then there's a screw that comes down like this, and what happens is that you need to take off your wood rail that's here, and there's screws here, 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 here. You loosen that so you could kind of get to the wood rail. And what I did was I took like a hammer, I guess. This screw pops out through here, which is, like I said, in the way. So I took a hammer, loosened this up, moved this out of the way, and just popped it out. So now it just came out totally. And I'm going to have to figure out how, when I put the rail on, if I'm going to put this back in or not, because I mean the metal thing's held on with all these, so once you tighten everything down I think you're good, but we'll see once I kind of get everything in if we're going to need to put this one, you know, this screw back in and drill into our auto shooter, or just kind of leave it out. But next what we're going to do is there's two screws in here that hold this plunger in that we're going to need to take out. These two lights I took out already. They were kind of in the way. I'll put those, I might have to reposition them when we put the new plunger in. And I think that's really it. So let's start by removing this. Like I said, there's two screws that have to be removed for this, so that'll come out. We'll have to resolder our wires, you know, to the switch on the new auto plunger, which go here. And then that should really be it. And then we're going to have to do the button in the coin door. Okay, so now it's hard to kind of get the right angles on what we kind of need to look at. But now we're looking at the playfield kind of down now. And basically what we're going to do is take our auto plunger, which is this, and put it, let me just pull the camera down a bit so we could see what we're looking at here. So I also took off the ball, or the what do you call it, the shooter lane switch, which is here, you know, that senses the ball, and also took out the plunger, which is here. So basically now what we're going to just to fit this and see how this actually fits. So if we kind of position it here like that, you know, you could kind of see that it would work, the mechanism. So there's kind of like two line, there's a line here and there's a line here. So I guess you could line that up at the end of your shooter lane at the end, so it kind of has a good, you know, throw, we'll call it, and the switch actually fits inside the shooter lane well. So I think we'd be good with that. So what we're going to do now is screw this into the playfield, this new shooter auto plunger, I should say, into the shooter lane, and see how it fits. Okay, so what I did now, I put the plunger, the auto plunger in, and basically how I did it was I kind of just screwed these three screws into here, you know, to put the plunger in. And if I use the mechanism, you know, it's actually fairly smooth. It's not like it binds or anything. So it seems like it fits pretty well. And then I kind of just lined these two like little rounded tabs up on top of the auto plunger with the end of where the shooter lane is. So basically this flow, like I said, it flows pretty well. And for the heck of it, I don't think I really needed it because it's not really touching the metal. But I just put a piece of like black, you know, like the felt that you would put on, so it doesn't. I usually put this like for my playfield glass, like on the ends, like where the coin door is, so when it slides up and down, it doesn't scratch the glass. So I just put a piece of that in here on the metal over here. But it's not touching, so I just kind of put it on there just in case. But as I'm looking at it, it's not touching, so I shouldn't have a problem with like any kind of like shocks or nothing like that, or, you know, two metal pieces touching or causing a, you know, current between two metal devices or something. So I think we'll be good. So that's basically that step. And then also with this metal rail, I screwed down the wood rail first, the three screws I took out to get that first, like, you know, you'll see when you take this metal guide off, there's a post that sticks up that interferes with this. So I had to take that out. So I just slid this under this metal piece here. And then I screwed in the wood rail though first, you know, to just so I could get to it and tighten it down. And then now I'm just going to put this, you know, tighten all these nuts down here and screw down that metal guide again, so it you know, doesn't scratch against the side of the wood when you take the playfield in and out. So I'm going to do that next, and then we'll tighten that down and then get to the button and start drilling that coin door out. Okay, so what I had to do with this ball launcher was, in order for it to fit in there the proper way and not get like you know, like hit like the bulbs or the lights of the other things that are on that playfield or short things out, what I did was I cut the bottom part off, like the part that extended like down the playfield more to the right. You know, if you could see it, I just cut it straight off, and I drilled new holes with my drill press. There's two on that side, one on that side, and one more on the bottom. So I drilled new holes in order for it to mount on the play field. So I don't know if you do it with yours, if you would have to do that, but I did it with mine again because there were the two bulbs that are right under it. It was touching this, metal-wise, and I was afraid of shorting stuff out. So I just cut the bottom and drilled my new holes. So now what I'm going to do is mount it into the play field on the bottom with the screws and, attach it to the game. Okay, so now I put my auto plunger back in, and everything seems like it's working good. I tried it out. I tested the game out. Seems like it works okay. With the solenoid here, when you get it with this kit here, attached to the auto plunger, there's no diode on it, so make sure you put your diode on this solenoid when you wire it up and all that. I took the old one off, rewired it, put a new diode on it. So everything seems like it's working, and it's auto plunging and going all the way around, so it has enough power, which is great. Didn't blow nothing out. Like I said, I drilled my new holes for this new auto plunger here. You can't really see them all, but there's a screw in here, back down here, screw here, and there's a screw down here. And I cut, again, this part off, so because it was touching like this lamp and this lamp here, and I didn't want to short nothing out, so I just cut this back part off, and everything seems like it's working okay. So next we're going to do now is the coin door and drilling our hole for the button and wiring the button, and that should be it, and everything should be working fine. And then we don't have to swap out. We could put the shooter rod in after we move the button out and just put the button into the door, and that's it, and never have to change your button or plunger again. So that'll be next. Okay, so now the next step of what we're going to do is move this button and put the shooter rod in place of that, and we're going to move the button to here where this dollar slot would be. Like if you had to put one in, like if you wanted to make change for $1 or to put $1 in so it accepts like dollars to play games, to give you credits, that you would put that in here, that dollar mechanism. So basically what I'm going to do, or what I have done already, is I've used this template to create a circle, an inch circle, a 1 inch circle, where my middle finger is actually. And I'm actually holding the camera, I don't have it on a tripod right now. And then I also used, to make this circle so I could maybe rub it off later, or if you mess up, is a China pencil. It's basically like a waxy type of pencil, so if you take like, I don't know, some kind of like cleaner, you could kind of take that right off, that circle if you messed up. So I kind of have it in the center, I think, and what I'm going to use is a metal hole saw to create my circle, or my hole, I should say, and that should give me enough clearance for this button, the back of it, to slip through that hole once I drill it out, and to apply my button over there. And then I'll run the wiring, from the back there through the, the pinball machine cleanly, so nothing gets snagged on anything. And that would be it, and that would be the end of our lesson. So let's next take this metal plate out, and then we're going to put it on a drill press and create our hole for our button. Okay, so now we're taking the slot out, the plate I should say, for to hide the hole. And basically what you would do is, there's 2 nuts up here and there's 2 screws down here that you need to remove. Then this piece kind of comes out. You kind of have to move this out of the way. Doing this with one hand. And then down here, then this kind of just slides out. And then again, now you have a hole there, and that's where your dollar, mechanism would go. And then here is where we would put this on a drill press and drill out our hole, which we're going to do next. Okay, so now we're ready to drill our hole into our plate, and basically I have this hole saw, which is an inch diameter wide. So that's going to make our hole for our button. So I bought this drill press actually from Harbor Freight, and I think I spent a little over $100 on it. It's a great drill press for what it is, you know, for the price. I've used it for a couple pinball projects. I made a Run DMD bracket, like frame out of it with it to drill through plexiglass. So it works pretty well for the price especially. So now what we're going to do is drill our hole and be ready to install our button. Okay, so everything is done, and as you can see, the launch button is in the coin door now. So is the shooter rod as well in the cabinet, and I didn't have to, you know, make any holes in the cabinet, and everything fit pretty well. And if we kind of look now into the cabinet, you could see the wiring is all in here, and basically how it goes, all this kind of goes in here, you know, into the button, into the coin door. So basically the wires originally came from here. It's all packed together. I just cut out the zip ties. I put new ones on there, you know, to kind of organize everything. So that wire kind of runs like that. That's where the you know, the board is for the driver board for the pinball machine. So all those wires kind of run down that way, kind of come up this way now. They kind of tee off in a wire harness right here. Some go to the left, some go to the right. So then I just took the wires to the launch button that used to be here. Now the shooter rod is here. I installed that. But now the wires, I kind of cleaned everything up and kind of ran it through here and then to the coin door, and then I zip tied everything. But I also, if you could see, gave it enough wire so you could open up the door without it snagging, which you know, I kind of wanted. So I zip tied that together. And then also too, I put quick connects on here, so I didn't have to cut any of the wires. So if anybody, you know, if I ever sold my machine and somebody wanted to put it back to original, you know, no wires were cut. It's just, you know, you could take this button, put it back to here, you know, back to where the shooter rod is, and bring everything back over. And then all you have to do really here, if you don't want the hole in here, is just buy another, you know, plate to cover that up. There, you know, you could buy those. So really, no damage was done to the machine in any way. Nothing was altered in the cabinet or anything like that. So basically, it's a pretty cool mod. Again, it was, the button was moved here, and then we also put the auto plunger, you know, that's up here. And really the major thing here is I had to cut this bottom part off and then re-drill these holes, you know, to kind of make that work without it touching any metal and shorting things out and all that kind of stuff. So so that was kind of that part of it. So, you know, again, I want to thank the Pinside thread for posting this, because it was a great idea, and I never would have thought of that if it wasn't for that thread. So whoever posted that thread, Gene Paul or whatever his name is, and the other person who posted the auto plunger, where to buy it from and all that, that was great. I really appreciate it, because I would have never again thought of any of that. So if you want to do this project, I'm going to post this on my blog, as you'll see the video, and on my website, and you know, all the other stuff. So again, thanks for watching my videos as always. And you know, everybody knows I have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, my homepage, www.pinballsupernova.com. Send emails to info@pinballsupernova.com. And again, thanks for watching all my videos and supporting the channels and everything else with my pinball stuff. So until the next video, talk to you soon. Thanks, bye.